Hello everyone, welcome to the second week of my Lost Ark Zero to Hero journey. I was able to accomplish a lot of things this week, so I'll go ahead and dive right in. Remember to click the like button if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe to be notified of future uploads. Also, I apologize for the watermark at the top left hand corner. For some reason I had issues recording via OBS. Hopefully this gets resolved next week. Okay, so as you can see, I'm right where I left off on the last video. 480 gold, and 116k destiny shards. I still do not have trusted status or crystalline aura. As usual, I logged in and did my chaos dungeon and guardian raids. I did this almost every single day, including the day after I uploaded last week's video. I was able to get a little bit more gold via Una tokens right before the weekly reset of 827. Sadly, you don't get much gold at all when your item level at the start of that week is 1585 or lower. I also kept up a Chaos Dungeon on my second Power Pass character, but I do not bother with Guardian Raid since Tier 3 Guardian Raids is basically dead content. After knocking out the dailies, I decided to start working on some horizontal content. I went to every single wandering merchant whenever I could and bought out cards and rapport items. While the cards are not super important, some cards are part of a book bonus that give extra combat stats like critical or swiftness. In addition, I will need a lot of rapport items to tackle on the adventure tome. It was also time to do the tier 3 tower. It gives a good chunk of roster XP, 2 skill point potions, some card packs, and a quick recharge skill rune. I also started working on some daily Una tasks. One of them rewards you with an enlightenment potion when you complete the reputation, and another one gives you a skill point potion. And of course, I set up a Bifrost teleport to the location of the Una task to save a bit of time. After doing that, I decided to knock out some of the adventure tome cooking and rapport. This took me a lot of time to complete. I used the Maxwell website as a guide for cooking and rapport. There are 2 reasons why I wanted to work on this. The first reason is because when you reach 100% with an adventure tome, you get an Ignia token. When you have 8 Ignia tokens, you can get a skill point potion. The second reason is because it gives a good chunk of roster XP. However, there is no way for me to reach 100% with any adventure tome because I need collectibles. Farming the collectibles myself takes way too much time, and I cannot buy them off the market because I do not have trusted status. But the least I could do is finish the cooking and rapport for some of the adventure tomes. I avoided the continents that have a very high rapport requirement. The day before weekly reset, I logged into my alt character and did tier 1 and tier 2 tower. The reason for doing this is because it gives a lot of roster XP. With the horizontal content I've done so far, this puts me at roster level 102. Later that day, I defeated the field boss and got the enlightenment potion. This was my second time doing field boss, so I think I got pretty lucky. I also started working on my Stronghold. Every day, I would do a dispatch mission and research whatever I could for the purpose of increasing my Stronghold level. However, at a certain point, I started to run out of the life skill materials that are needed to conduct research, and I cannot buy these items from the market without trusted status. So I had no choice but to mine ore and chop down trees to get the materials myself. By using Stronghold energy, I obtained 3,000 gold and some honing materials via the Event Quest UI. In addition, I got 627 gold from the field boss loot auction. I used that gold to hone my weapon since I wanted to get it out of the way first, but that did not get me anywhere. The next time I logged in was one day after weekly reset. I accepted 3 weekly Una tasks before I started doing anything. The 3 I recommend doing are Chaos Dungeon, Guardian Raid, and Paradise. I chose the ones that gave me the most destiny shards and leap stones. After completing my dailies, I did a mixture of Elysian and Crucible to see how far I could get. This is so I could get more of the tier 4 materials and better Paradise gear. Eventually, I hit a wall at Crucible 7, but now it was time to do my hell keys. Due to my placement on the leaderboard week 1, I got 1 purple key and 2 blue keys. The first key I ran was the purple one, and I did not get anything exciting, so I went for the shard chest. The second key I used gave me a choice between fusion material, blue or red stones, and special honing taps. I was feeling spicy, so I went for the special honing. The last key gave me a choice between silver, leap stone, or red and blue stones. I was lacking red stones the most, so the choice was obvious. With the special free taps, I was able to hone 1 piece of armor, which is better than nothing. After that, I realized I had 2 queue tickets, so I went to the Paradise Exchange NPC and bought a blue hell key. and the result of that key was nothing exciting, so I went with Leapstone. It was now time to log on to my alt character and use the weekly hell key I got. The first key was disappointing, so I went with the shard chest. The second key gave me bound gold, which I'm not excited about, since I wanted that bound gold on my main character instead. But I won't complain too much, since this character will be leveled up in the future eventually. And the third key gave me special honing taps. With those special honing taps on this alt character, I was able to hone 4 pieces of armor, which put me at 1588. After completing the weekly Una task, I was able to secure 13,000 gold. With that gold, I logged on to my main character and continued to hone my weapon. Sadly, I ended up hitting pity, but at least it is done now. I had some leftover gold to try a few armor taps, but I did not get anywhere with that. The next thing I did was log on to my alt character and knock out my 3 solo raids: Akan, Triangle, and Belshazzar. That left me with about 12,000 gold to work with on my main character. And as you may have guessed, I pitied another piece of gear. Before I continued to hone any further, I wanted to use some of the blue stones that give you higher odds of success. I had some boxes that gave those stones, in addition to another box that was in my roster storage. With the 3 attempts I had on my leftover gold, I didn't get anywhere, but that is alright. When you get unlucky, you are only bound to get lucky when it matters the most. That is what I believe. Anyways, I went to the solo mode shop and bought out some fusion materials since I was low on that. I also bought the tier 3 version of fusion materials because you can convert that to tier 4 using the Honing Exchange NPC vendor. At this point, it was time to run some raids, and I started with Behemoth. At this time on EU, it was 9 AM, so there weren't many people online willing to run any raids. I ended up making my own lobby and got some applicants. At this pace, it seemed like it wouldn't take long to fill. A 1729 Sork joined and saved the day, which I'm grateful for that. And shortly after that, many people started applying. Then we got into the raid and cleared it without any issues at all. After finishing Behemoth, I had about 13k gold, so I started honing my gear a bit more. And as you can expect, the next gear piece almost pitied. I succeeded at 90% pity, which did not feel good at all. With the 7.8k gold I had left, I started on the next armor piece but did not get anywhere with that. I'm at 56% pity with 1.2k gold left. The Makoko shop gives you 5,000 gold per week, so I bought out that 5,000 gold and continued to tap a few more times. This came in clutch with me succeeding 80% pity. Now I want all of you that are watching to remember what I said earlier. I said that when you have a lot of bad luck, you end up getting lucky when it matters the most. Well, this only proves my point. With the last gear piece that I need to hone in order to hit 1660, I one-tapped it. I only had enough gold to tap it one time, so that felt really good. Now that I'm at 1660, I can claim the 1660 Rise of the Valkyrie event box. This gave me a good amount of honing materials and 10,000 gold. Now it was time to run Aegir normal mode in a group at 1660. This is the last milestone in the Challenge Express event and gives us 40,000 gold if I complete it, so I went ahead and created my own lobby. I knew this would take a while to fill, so in the meantime I started working on Transcendence. The challenge event completes up to 5 levels of Transcendence for all armor and weapon, and I just had to complete the rest. I got pretty unlucky with Transcendence, and I wasn't able to fully complete armor or weapon, but I got very close. The Aegir lobby finally filled, and after some time, we were able to go in and complete the raid without any problems. In fact, not a single player died, so I got the Deathless achievement and trophy, which was nice. The Rise of the Valkyrie event gives you 10,000 gold for every gate of Aegir that you complete. Since there are 2 gates in the Aegir raid, I was able to claim another 20,000 gold. After that, I proceeded to craft my ancient gear set, which is obtained via the materials you get when you clear Aegir. With a combination of first time clear, buying boxes for both gates, and the side missions in the Challenge Express, I was able to craft 4 pieces of ancient gear. This allowed me to allocate more points in the Evolution Arc passive tree, which is a decent bonus in damage. In addition, the Aegir Challenge Express mission also gave me 4 level 7 tier 4 gems, which was a nice bonus. With the whopping 70,000 gold to work with, my next goal was clear: achieve item level 1670. The way I decided to do this was through advanced honing. Completing levels 1 through 10 of advanced honing on weapon and all armor will allow me to reach 1670. Through the event shop UI, I can purchase a lot of advanced honing scrolls for level 1 through 10 for both armor and weapon. With this many scrolls, I can use it on every single honing tab, which will save me a lot of gold. However, I did not think this far ahead until after I completed the weapon and halfway through one piece of armor. With the 70k gold I had, I was able to complete the weapon entirely and a few levels of armor. I stopped when I had 9,000 gold left because I wanted to continue to work on transcendence. After working on transcendence, I wanted to do my last raid for the week, which was Echidna. I wanted to do Echidna in a group because of the Makoko tokens. It took a while to find a group, but I eventually did. It was full of 1670s and 1680s, so I thought there wouldn't be a problem. But I guess if you're not skipping mechanics, people forget how the fight works. We wiped 2 times in total. And on the second wipe, the Bard in Party 2 had enough of it, and we all disbanded. That's when I decided to do Echidna in solo mode. I miss out on Makoko tokens and 2,000 gold, but it's better than possibly dealing with another headache. After completing Echidna, I was able to do a bit more advanced honing. It was from this point forward that I decided to use advanced honing scrolls on every tab. In total, I completed weapon, 1 piece of armor, and level 3 on another piece of armor. With all of that, I was completely out of gold for the entire week. But seeing how many scrolls you get from the event shop UI for levels 1 through 10, if I adopt that strategy of using scrolls on every attempt next week, I think I can get a bit farther. After advanced honing, daily reset occurred on EU. So I did my dailies on both characters, then tried to go outside Curzon to see if a particular ship was roaming around. This ship sells a bottle which has a low chance of giving you a blood claw fragment. Collecting all of them gives you more enlightenment potions, so I wanted to work on this. Unfortunately, I did not realize that a prerequisite quest must be completed before you can start acquiring this piece of horizontal content. So I went ahead and knocked that out. Afterwards, I bought 20 bottles from that ship, but sadly I did not get it. With the completion of the Challenge Express, you are awarded with a lot of adventure seals, which is a resource typically obtained from dispatching missions in your Stronghold. I needed focus skill runes for DPS Valkyrie, so I went to a random Stronghold and bought out the runes I needed. In summary, I ended week 1 at item level 1655. With week 2 coming to a close, I was able to get to 1663. My goal for week 3 is to get to item level 1670 so I can start doing normal mode Broshaza and work on the karma progression system. Honestly, this has been a great journey so far and I've generally enjoyed every part of it, except for the fact that I still do not have trusted status. Anyways, that concludes this week's Zero to Hero video. I will see you all in the next one. Peace.